everyone. My name is Marcel Miller. Today, I'm here to talk and inform you about the history, culture, and identity of the Philippines. The Philippine Islands have crystal clear waters, friendly people, and it's a great country to vacation or retire in. But it was not always like this. In the 16th century, the Philippines were captured by the Spanish and Japanese governments and forced to work or become slaves if they did not comply with their demands. Even after all of the happenings of that time, we were still able to recover and even show respect and compassion for others to this day. Now, I am going to tell you more about my culture, its history, and how it has shaped the Philippines in the present day. In case you ever want to visit or explore the Philippines, at least you will know what to expect from my country and the cultural differences. You may even want to retire there after I'm done giving my speech. I'll be discussing Filipinos' history, identities, and why the culture of oneself can sometimes become lost when living away from home. In order to understand my culture as it is now, we must first dive into my country's history books. First, let's talk about Philippine history. In the 16th century, Spanish and Japanese colonial leaders first discovered the Philippines and claimed as their own. Many of the local inhabitants of the islands were forced to work with the Spanish or become slaves if they did not comply. This lasted for many years but did not harden the hearts of the Filipinos. Not everything was negative during that time, though. The Spanish had brought with them the pineapple plant. Piña was used for many things during that time. Fast forward a few hundred years, and an article called Dress, Status, and Identity in the Philippines, author Mina Roses, talks about how piña cloth signified the epitome of luxury, refinement, and wealth in the 19th century Philippines. Now that we have learned about the Filipino history, let's talk about what that means for the Filipino identity, bloodlines, and how they were mixed with the Spanish and Japanese from the past until the present. Filipinos' identities are mostly mixed with Spanish and Japanese cultures. Although my culture is unique to me, some of the things that we eat or see come from the Spanish. Early in Nels Murder's research on the Filipino urban middle class mentality, Filipinos are characterized as Roman Catholic, English speaking Malay with a Spanish name, and predilection for Chinese food. We indeed have mostly Spanish last names and even Spanish food dishes that we enjoy today. Filipino history and cultures, as it was back in the 16th century, is different than what it has become today. In the Journal of Current Southeast Asia Affairs, author Nels Mulder talks about how Filipinos express themselves in a little traditional forms in the home and local community. It is there that one finds the shared and distinctive representation of the Filipinos ethos. The emblems of it, the diploma and the graduation pictures on the wall, the cute Santo Niño, the Serene Lady of Lourdes, or the Mother of Perpetual Health, the plaza with its diminutive Rizal statue, the Town Hall Land Church, the basketball court, the band, the bus shelter, the fiesta, and procession belong, in fact, to individual families and communities. Lastly, we'll talk about cultures in general can sometimes get lost when living in a completely different country. In an online article managed by Comesco Global Consulting, it talks about Filipino culture and how the family is the center of the social structure and includes the nuclear family. Aunts, uncles, grandparents, cousins, and honorary relations such as godparents, sponsors, and close family friends. People get strength and stability from their family. Filipinos believe they must live up to the accepted standards of behavior, and if they fail to do so, they bring shame not only upon themselves but also upon their family. Living in a different country, especially in the US, can sometimes have its challenges. People are quick to judge anyone else that is different from them. In order to fit in here in the US, I have to set my culture aside at times. This doesn't mean that I forget where I came from or my identity as a Filipina. It just means that I must sometimes adapt to my surroundings. Now that we've learned about the Filipino history, culture, and identities, I hope you can see how beautiful and accepting my country is. In the present day, Filipinos are richer and the people are more unified than ever before. I want everyone to learn more about the Philippines, culture, and history. It is important to have knowledge about other countries and how they get where they are now. Who knows, maybe one day you'll want to visit and see for yourself. Although the Philippines has had a rough history, it is one of the most beautiful places to visit in the world. The clear waters and friendly people on the islands will have you wanting to stay longer if you ever visit on vacation. I am proud of my culture, identity, and a very proud Filipina. Thank you.